The CBS 21 Political Insiders with Rob Hanrahan.
Welcome back. We're joined by our political insiders, Republican strategist Charlie Giroux, Democratic strategist Mark Singal. And Mark, I'll start with you at my particular polling place. We're hearing this from a lot of different ones, but at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they were talking 35–40% turnout.
Yeah, extraordinary. All over the place. Anecdotally, at least, this election is going to set records for a midterm election. And I think that's a good thing because the more people participate, the better it is for everybody.
Now, could this help or hurt any specific candidates, Charlie?
You don't know. I mean, the fact of the matter is both teams are trying to turn out their base. The one thing you have to say about Donald Trump is he gets them to the polls. He did 2 years ago. He is again tonight. I think Mark is correct. This may well be a historic level of turnout. But, you know, we don't know until the polls close what it actually is. And whether or not it benefits one team or the other remains to be seen.
So I wanted to ask you, Charlie, about the other kind of poll, the survey polls that have been coming out that people keep taking a look at the numbers. How much weight can we put on those as late in the game as we are?
Look, people love polls. They love them for a reason. They like the horse race aspect of politics. But ultimately, they hold elections for a reason, just as they play football games for a reason.
That's right.
It's hard to make predictions just based on polls, but I will say that the latest kind of average polls, the Real Clear Politics that takes a look at all of them, does have the Democrats breaking a few percentage ahead. And that gives me some confidence. But I was confident 2 years ago, and look what happened.
No, because everybody keeps going back to 2016.
Charlie, let me ask you this. Does Scott Wagner have a chance tonight?
Slim and none isn't looking too good right now, or Slim isn't looking too good right now. That's just been a very, very tough race. Quite bluntly, it was a relatively ineffective campaign, and I'm afraid that the results will show that tonight.
How did Bob Casey, Mark, get so far out in front?
Well, I think the name, over the years, you establish a kind of a legacy, you know, and he goes back 30 years with a family name. And then Bob Casey is also not prone to make a lot of mistakes. So he's run a campaign very much like Tom Wolf, just kind of steady, defensive, not take too many risks. And I think it's paying off for him.
What do you think about the race between Scott Perry and George Scott?
Now that's a lot more rock'em sock'em. That's a real bellwether for the Commonwealth, a hotly contested seat. Frankly, it shouldn't be as close as it is, but the Perry campaign didn't get untracked as fast as they would have liked. A lot of outside money came in for George Scott. I think that one goes down to the wire.
I think so, too. I will tell you also that a couple of calls today to the Scott campaign, and they are delighted with the turnout in what they consider to be their strongholds. So they are actively trying to get people to the polls in the last couple of minutes. I think that's going to be a surprise. I think Scott wins that race.
All right, well, I wanted you guys to make a couple of predictions, if you would, like I always ask you to on these days. I got 15 seconds left. Any others that you think are going to win for sure?
Oh, I think so. I think the women candidates running for Congress in Southeast Pennsylvania are strong. And you're going to see about 4 or 5 new congressmen from Pennsylvania.
Charlie?
Not exactly a, aggressive prediction there from Mark, because I think he's right about that. The question really is, how many seats do the Democrats pick up in Pennsylvania? Because there are a couple that are potential surprises, most notably Mike Kelly up in the far northeast. There's also the possibility of a Republican takeover up in the northeast. I said northeast for Kelly, the northwest, up in the Erie area. Mike Kelly is in trouble. I think that Congressman Cartwright is in trouble up in the northeast.
All right. Charlie, Mark, we will see you guys again at 11 tonight. Don't be late.
That's right. We're taking a closer look at all of the midterm results and the impact of this election. Sunday morning at 8:30 on CBS 21's Face the State. But tonight is the big night, and gentlemen, we hope to see you later on this evening.